Welcome back to the Man-to-Man Sports Podcast. I'm Brad.
And I'm Ethan. We got some great segments for you today. Of course, college basketball started this week, so we got to talk about that and the big upset that happened night one. But first, we got to get into the trivia answers of our last episode.
All right, so the question was, you named the 3 NFL seasons that had the most in-season trades. And you got number 1, which is 2022 with 22 players. Now, I told you that I kind of gave you a hint that they were all kind of recent.
Okay.
So we'll go to number 2, and that was last year, 2024 with 19 players. And then third place is 2023 with 16 players.
Also, just the last 3 seasons.
It's really been a trend the last 3 seasons. You could say the last 4 seasons, ever since the A.J. Brown trade really took off. And then we also asked everyone what's the most memorable trade. For me, it's 1989. Dallas Cowboys trade Herschel Walker to the Minnesota Vikings. And a lot of moving parts in that, but essentially they get Troy Aikman, Mike Worthing, and Emmett Smith all out of that trade through draft picks, which set up 3 Super Bowls in the 90s for them. So kudos to the Cowboys for that trade, right?
Yeah.
But that is our trivia for this week. So let's move on to the tip-off of college basketball.
Yeah, the college basketball tip-off. Big college basketball fans here. Had a crazy night in between our top 25 teams. One, of course, being the defending national champions, the Florida Gators. They lost their star player, Clayton, to the draft, but they brought in some good players to replace him. But it didn't matter. Arizona, the Wildcats, beat them 93-87 in the tip-off night. Some great performances by their team. Notable performances, of course, from Koa Pete, who had a 30-point game with 7 rebounds. Just a great team effort out of there. Really commend this Arizona team. I've always liked Arizona ever since they got Caleb Love through the transfer portal. I think they're a good team.
Yeah, I'm going to go way back with Arizona. I became a fan with them with Mike Bibby and Miles Simon, that national championship team. But number 13 beating the number 3 right out the gate. Arizona proves that they are more than just a top 25 team this year, that they are really a contender for the national championship.
Yeah, but we've also had a couple slip-ups in this top 25 this week. No one's... A notable one being Auburn, just about to lose to Bethune. It went to overtime. I thought Bethune had it, but Auburn pulls it out.
Yeah, Auburn, traditionally a very strong basketball team, or at least the last 10 years. Bethune-Cookman almost got them. So we'll see how that plays out the rest of the season, if they can gel better and become more of a power team, or if this is a sign of things to come.
Yeah. Friday night, we have a Battle of the Blue Bloods coming up. Kansas City against North Carolina. It's going to be a really good game. I don't know who wins, but if I had to give a prediction, I go North Carolina. I like what they've done with their team. I like the freshmen in that.
Yeah, it's a real blue chipper game here. I've always been a big fan of Kansas's coach, and I'm going to go with Kansas, the Jayhawks, Rock Chalk Jayhawks on this one. I think they just the fact that I think they may be a little bit more early season ready than the freshmen in North Carolina.
Yeah, Caleb Wilson's been really good to start this season off, and North Carolina, of course, gets the best freshmen. I think he's ready right now. That's why I'm going North Carolina, but I respect your Kansas pick as well.
All right, we'll see who wins there.
Yeah, so we'll move on to the next big game. We have the national championship hopeful Rick Pitino with St. John's going up against Alabama, 2 top 25 teams. This is happening on Saturday. I like St. John's. He did really good in the transfer portal, and he knows how to bring in those freshmen.
Yeah, some great early season games here coming up, and this is one of them for sure. You got the Tide, and you got St. John's. Pitino really knows how to put a team together. He is the true gangster of college basketball. And for that reason, I'm going to go with St. John's.
I'm going to do the same. I think St. John's wins this one.
Yeah, I like Bama though. I think they're going to be a real good team this year, but I'm going to go with Patino on this one.
I agree with that, and that's really what we got for college basketball tip-off week. We have, of course, some more great games, but we'll be talking about more about college basketball once the bigger games start to happen. At the beginning of the season, of course, there's just kind of they throw some softballs down the middle out of the teams.
Yeah, but super excited. College basketball is probably my second favorite sport. But we've already got some basketball hardcore all happening right now, and that's in the NBA. Our top three performers for the NBA this week is now our top four. And we're going to go, our top three would be in Tyrese Maxey this week, having 2 10-assist games and leading that Sixers team who looks like juggernauts right now. And then you got your boy Giddey with the Bulls as our other top performer, 26.5 points per game this week and having a triple-double. The Bulls looking really good to start the season. And number 3, having a former Bull, that's Lauren Markkinen, having a game with 3 blocks and 3 steals, and the dude is averaging 31 points per game, by far his best start to an NBA season. Outstanding performer there. And then I want to give just a shout out to SGA this week for having his 79th consecutive 20-plus game. People talk about his style of play. They don't really like it. I'm kind of following that boat. But the dude, was player of the year last year, and he won the championship last year, and he's starting out tough this year. I think it's time we give this dude some flowers.
Yeah, and a lot of people are going to be happy that he said that. He's a really good player. I've always liked him as a person, but I kind of agree with the play style. It's not his fault, though. It's the NBA's fault for being soft. He just takes advantage of it by continuously going to the free throw line. Very smart of him, but I think the rule, it's just kind of soft with a lot of those fouls.
It is, but, it makes me think back. A lot of people didn't like Jordan's style play at first either. And a lot of people didn't like Shaq's style play at first. And they both transcended the game. So we'll see if SGA the same way. And, that's throw Curry in there. He really changed the game, chucking up all these threes.
A lot of people didn't like that at first.
Yeah, maybe SGA is showing this is another way to win. And we'll see if the rest of the league copycats that.
Yeah, he's a special ability to do it. Another person I want to talk about on that list was Lauri Markkinen. As you said, averaging over 30 points per game. Everyone knew he's a good offensive talent. He's just that guy who can shoot a 30, he can take you down in the post. He's really good. He's always kind of struggled with more of the defensive end, having a 3 blocks and 3 steal game, showing that he worked on that over the offseason. I'm really impressed with Lauri. He's really good.
Yeah, and he's carrying a team that otherwise would probably be pretty hapless. The rookie Ace Bailey's come out kind of a rough start this season, and so Lauri Markkinen is really carrying that team at the moment.
Yeah, a huge fan of him. Josh Giddey, of course, I'm a huge fan of him as a Bulls fan. Getting a triple-double this week, much deserving on that top 3 list.
Yeah, you're just giddy over giddy, I guess.
I guess you could say that. And then our number 1 spot was Tyrese Maxey. He's still leading in points per game. Very, very proud of Tyrese Maxey taking that 76ers team to the next level.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, if him and Embiid stay healthy, this team here could be our next NBA champions.
I could see that for sure. What are the big games this week?
Glad you asked. We got some big games coming up. The first one that comes to my mind, you got Golden State going to Denver. After last week, Denver had to go to Golden State, and Golden State pulled out a win in overtime. And so I think this is going to be another close, exciting game. Curry, Jokic, it's got everything you want here on the West Coast.
Yeah, a lot of people saying that Golden State's a little bit too old and that they're going to kind of be phased out. They're not showing it this year. They're playing really well this year, showing their playoff contenders. I like how Golden State's playing right now. I've always liked how Jokic plays. He's still putting up good numbers. Jamal Murray's playing good. I think, I don't know who wins this game, but just based off the last game that Golden State won, I'm going to go with Denver this time. It's a 50-50 series.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Denver too, just because it's at home. But you said something about Golden State being older, and it made me think there's an old boxing adage that the last thing to go for a puncher is a punch. You know, it's a strength.
And it's the same thing with the shooter. The last thing to go is his shot.
Yeah, shooters can shoot long after their mobility's gone. Yeah, Ray Allen, Reggie Miller, those guys stick out in my mind. Steph Curry still got some spunk, but even if he slows down, he can still rain it down.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler playing good right beside him. That's a good game. It was a good choice.
Yeah, my next game comes to mind is your Bulls going at Cleveland, and hopefully Cleveland will have a certain player back by then.
Yeah, Darius Garland probably gonna be back by then. He got up to the G League, so he's playing a little bit there, and hopefully he'll be back for that game because I think it could be a really good game. Cleveland started out a little bit slow this year, but I think everyone understands that it's because Darius Garland is hurt, and that I think Donovan Mitchell is like day to day now because he got a little bit banged up. Yeah, and so I think it's gonna be a good game if everyone's healthy in that game. But of course, I'm going to stick with my Bulls in this one.
Yeah, I really like the trio that Cleveland has with Garland, D-Mitch, and Hunter.
I would actually put Mobley over Hunter.
Well, Mobley is the better player, but I think Mobley may be the best player on this team. I know a lot of people don't agree with that. But I like the give and go that they have with Hunter. Hunter's a guy that doesn't need the ball. He can spot up at three, and he plays good defense, and that's why I bring him into that mix.
I agree. He's the key defensive piece for that team.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be an exciting game. The Bulls are young and exciting. Cleveland was that team last year. And so we'll see what happens when they meet this Saturday.
Yeah, who you got?
Oh, yeah. You know what? Who'd you go with?
I don't know if the Bulls got to.
I'll go with Cleveland. I'll see. I think if Mitch and Garland are both healthy, D-Mitch and Garland are both healthy, I think Cleveland will win that game.
Okay.
And then the last game I pulled, I think is just a good mono clash here. Players that, to me, are similar in some ways and very different in others. And that's Milwaukee at Dallas. You got Giannis versus the young buck, Cooper Flag.
Yeah, that's a good game. Dallas is off to a little slow start, but I think it's kind of expected because Kyrie isn't back yet. So Milwaukee's playing much better than I expected. I thought, last year wasn't the best. Giannis is just carrying the team, but he's doing it at such a high level again. I just didn't expect that. So I'm going to go Milwaukee in this one. Giannis carrying the team.
Yeah, Giannis has really looked phenomenal this year. If I were to go with the early season MVP, I think that he would be my pick. He's just been outstanding, averaging like 36 points a game or something like that.
Wow.
And he's just been a beast. And then you got Cooper Flag, who is a defensive long body like Giannis.
Sure.
He just shoots the ball a little better from range. And so I think that'll be a fun matchup to watch. But in the end, I'm with you. I'm taking the Bucks in that game.
Yeah, I agree. Good matchup, though.
Absolutely. That's our pick of the week.
Yeah, we move on to our NFL Week 10 predictions.
Let's go.
Let's do it. Love to see it. We'll start off with the Thursday night game, of course. Las Vegas at Denver. I don't have much to say about this game. Las Vegas just traded away Jacoby Myers. I don't think they have a chance. I'm going Denver.
Yeah, Denver all the way on this one.
Yeah. And so we'll move on to our next game. 1 o'clock game between New England at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is a really good team. New England is showing flashes of being that really good team. But I do think Tampa Bay comes out on top in this one. I think Baker's consistent. I think if Buka comes back, he hasn't been playing the best recently, but I think this is coming off the bye.
Yeah, well, we said New England needed to prove it.
Yep.
This is the game they can prove it. If they can go and beat the Bucks, beat Shake and Bake, who is one of my MVPs for this year, then they've proven they belong in an upper echelon. At the end of the day, though, I'm taking Baker and Ibuka. I think the Bucks win this game, and I think they look like a top-tier team.
I agree, yeah. And so we'll move on to our next game, 4 o'clock game. We had a bunch of good 4 o'clock games. It was hard to choose from because I always do the primetime games, one o'clock, one 4 o'clock game. And this game is really good. We got Rams at San Francisco. This is a clash of the NFC West, which has been the best division in the league so far.
Yeah, by far, you said it. And these teams know each other very well. They're not too far down the road from each other. Still have Brock Purdy out, so you've got Mac Jones starting. You kind of know how this is going to go. They're going to try to put it all on the back of CMC. Yeah, and the Rams are going to do what they always do. It's just, can they stop Christian McCaffrey and force Mac Jones to find other options? If they do that, I think they win, and for that reason, I am taking the Rams.
Yeah, the Rams defense is good. As I've said, the Rams offense looks great. I think the Rams are full contenders. They come out and show that in this game. Rams win.
All right, rock and roll.
Yep. So we move on to our Sunday night game. Pittsburgh at LA against the Chargers. What looks to be a really good game. Chargers banged up at tackle, but Pittsburgh's defense finally looked good last week. I was kind of disappointed Pittsburgh didn't do anything at the trade deadline, but I still take Pittsburgh in this game. Chargers being favored in this game, but I think T.J. Watt takes advantage of the lack of Joe Alt.
Well, I do think that these are two very equal teams.
Yeah.
You can go back and forth on who has a better player at each position, but all in all, as a total team, I think that they're very similar, and I also think that their coaches are pretty even as well.
Yeah, they've seen each other a couple times in their career.
Once or twice, that's right. I think, where'd you say it was at?
This is at LA.
And I'm going to take the Chargers in this one. Okay. I think that they figure out a way to work the new tackle in and keep Herbert safe. And I think at the end of the day, it's going to come down to Herbert making a big play. Chargers win.
Hey, I like that prediction. It's a good one. This one surprised me a bit. We got Philadelphia at Green Bay. Green Bay are the favorites in this game. Yeah, after a tough loss against Carolina, and the Eagles are coming off a long bye week, this being a Monday night game.
A long bye week, which looks like, they need because they brought in these new players.
Yeah.
But man, that's a tough one. The Eagles have looked flat at times, but all in all, they've looked great. Packers have been very erratic.
Yeah.
Up and down. I think you've got a great defensive matchup in this game.
Sure.
And then, when that usually happens, it falls on the quarterback making a mistake. And would I rather have Jordan Love or would I rather have Hurts? That's a debate a lot of people would argue.
Yeah.
I like Love's big playability.
Yeah.
But you can't deny the consistency and the powerful legs of Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm so 50-50 in this game. So I'm going to go with heart because my head's just saying, I don't know. So my heart's saying Green Bay. I got to choose Green Bay. They're just a weird team that they'll lose to Carolina one week and then come up next week and beat the Super Bowl champions in Philadelphia.
Well, and the one thing you haven't seen the Packers do is lose two on the road.
Yeah,
they haven't done it this year. It's in Lambeau.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm like you. Maybe it's all heart, but I'm going to take the Packers in this game.
Yeah, we are crazy.
Yeah.
All right, and that's all the games this week that we're going to predict. A bunch of good games, though. I wish I could talk about these games forever. Our bye weeks this week are Dallas, which need it, Kansas City, which needs it, and then Cincinnati and Tennessee.
Yeah, going to be a lot of fun games this week, like you said. We won't get to see all of them if you don't have ESPN now.
Yeah.
So screw ESPN, but let's go for some football. Before we leave, we got to do our boom or bust.
Sure, you can start it off.
All right, so my boom, I am going to go for my first boom, running back Quishon Judkins, the Browns, going against a soft defense this week with the Jets trading away Quentin Williams and Sauce Gardner. I think Judkins is prime for a big game.
Yeah, he was one of the guys I was thinking about. It's a really good boom.
Good deal. Who's your first boom?
My first boom, as always, I go with the defense. I'm going to go with the Panthers defense this week. Just like 19 points, and they just had a really good game against the Packers. I think they're going to do the same thing against New Orleans, which just lost Rashid Shaheed.
Wow, staying on that same note, my second boom is running back Rico Dowdle with the Panthers. I think the Saints have kind of given up on the season. I think that will reflect this week. I think the Panthers are going to do what they always do, feed the beast that is called Rico Dowdle. I look for him to boom.
I like that. I like that boo. My second boo is a quarterback. I usually like to go with the receiver, but I've not been good at booming receivers this year, so I'm going to go with the quarterback, and Sam Darnold projected 21 points against Arizona. Arizona's defense is good. This is just more that Sam Darnold has been looking amazing this season.
Yeah, another one of those MVP contenders there. Sam Darnold proving that last year was not a fluke, and I think you're right. I think he does boom this week as well. Now on to my bust, who I am also going with the quarterback with my bust this week. Just traded away one of his weapons, and that's quarterback Geno Smith.
Oh, that's a good buzz. That's a good one against the Denver defense. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, Denver's defense has just been outstanding. I don't look for anything to change here against the Raiders.
It's a good one. My bust this week is going to be Drake London, projected 20 points against Indianapolis. Indianapolis just getting Sauce Gardner. You know he's going to be matched up with Drake London this week. Give me Drake London not get 20 points.
So do you do this since he's just coming into a new defense? You just go shadow man-to-man most of the game?
I could see that, yeah.
Yeah.
No, like, complicated zone for Sauce, at least. Just tell lock down Drake London. And we know Sauce is one of the best lockdown corners in the league.
That's right. And we also know Penix is aptitude for throwing across the middle. So I think Sauce will use that to his advantage. I really like your bust pick this week.
Thank you. I think we both have some good picks this week. That's been our Boomer Bust segment. That has been this episode. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you'd like a sport added we can talk about. We're going to be talking about college football in a couple of weeks once it gets down to like championship and playoff contenders.
Yeah, I'm excited about that, mainly because my team may actually make the playoffs this year for the first time in their history. Really excited about that to see if they can hold out and make it. And excited about talking about more sports. Let us know what you think. Give us your feedback. We're always willing to entertain ideas.
Yeah, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you for watching our episode of the Man to Man Sports Podcast.
Yeah, shout out to our new subscribers and deuces.